Chris Lopez with MLMCompletePackage.com here. In this week's training video, I want to discuss the importance of recording your phone conversations so you can get better results in your network marketing business. Now, after being in the network marketing industry for about a decade, I've come to a couple of conclusions. And one of those conclusions between a successful and unsuccessful distributor is that the successful ones record and critique themselves. Because you may think you're saying one thing, or you may think you're handling the objection correctly, or you may think you're hearing the prospect correctly. But listening to a recording and going back and studying it can tell you something completely different. I know when I was new to building my network marketing business, I thought my phone conversations were going well, and when I would get with my upline and say, oh yeah, well I said this, he said this, and I answered it this way, he said, yeah, hey, that sounds good, sounds like you're doing things on the right track. Well, I had some success, but nothing great, and I needed to get better, and so he suggested to go out there and record my phone calls. Well, after a few weeks of making excuses, I finally started recording my phone calls, and I was amazed at what I thought I was saying versus what I was actually saying. Bottom line is, once I started recording and critiquing myself, I learned a lot, but most importantly, I started getting better results. And so that brings me back to that conclusion where I say successful network marketers record and critique themselves, and the unsuccessful ones don't. Now, I know a lot of people, and I was this way when I started, you say, gosh, I hate the sound of my own voice. I can't stand listening to myself. And you know what? That's what I said, and that's why it took me a few weeks to start recording my phone calls. But I got over my quote-unquote fear of listening to myself because I thought, you know what? I can either sit here and avoid listening to myself because I sound so horrible, or I can get over it and start building my business into a 5 or 6 figure income. And every time I got a little bit nervous or had second thoughts about recording and critiquing myself, I would tell myself, do you want to be afraid of your own voice, or do you want to go out there and build a full-time 6-figure income? And my answer was to go out there and build a full-time 6-figure income. And when I asked myself that question, guess what? I always got over my fear of recording my phone calls. So I've tried a bunch of different methods over the years, and I want to run you through 3 methods that I still use, and I'd recommend you get familiar with at least one of these. The first one is using a digital voice recorder. So you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, I've got an Olympus digital voice recorder. And these are real small. They can fit in your pocket. They're actually smaller than the iPhone or Android phone. They're probably about 2 inches wide and maybe 4 inches tall. And they're pretty skinny. So these are really handy. They're incredibly easy to use, and they can record your side of the conversation. Now, if you want to record the other side of the conversation with your prospect, you need to buy a special microphone. And I put a picture of that on the right-hand side of the screen. And so this microphone plugs into the digital voice recorder, and then you actually put the microphone in your ear. And you put it in the ear to wherever you hold the telephone up to your ear. And what this does is this allows the digital voice recorder to pick up the sound from the other person on the line. So I put links to both these products below this video. I can't remember the exact unit I own, but I bought mine about 6 or 7 years ago, so it's outdated. But the ones I linked to are the same company and the same type, so it's probably just a newer and better version. And the digital voice recorder is 50, 60, 70 bucks. And a special microphone is about $15. So it's very inexpensive when you consider that even increasing your results by a fraction of a percent as far as recruiting new distributors or getting new customers will pay for itself in a matter of days. So I will tell you one thing though, is make sure you plug the microphone into the digital voice recorder and then put it in your ear, and make sure you hold the telephone up to that same ear. Because what I did a few times is I would forget to put the microphone in my ear, or I would start holding the phone on the other side of my head, and guess what? I would miss out on the other side of the conversation. So the second method is to go out there and buy an app for your smartphone. Now, I spent a lot of time and wasted quite a bit of money on different apps trying to find one that could record phone calls. At first, I thought it'd be a piece of cake to record phone calls, and it wasn't. So that's why I ended up buying about 6 different applications. And the only one that actually worked for me and that I still used is called TapeACall. You can see the screenshot on the screen there. So it's Tape, T-A-P-E, A as in the letter A, call, C-A-L-L. Now this is for the iPhone. I don't know if there's the same app or a similar one for Android and other devices out there. You'll have to do your own searching around. So this is real handy if you do all or most of your prospecting calls or most of your business from your cell phone. And I think a lot of people do now because so many cell phones have unlimited minutes, so you can make all your calls from there. So this application works well. I tend not to use it very much because I just forget to hit the record button, or I'll remember after I start dialing the phone number or a few seconds into the conversation. And that's why I like method 1 and method 3, which I'm about to show you, is I can start getting those started once the call's going, or if I forget and remember a minute or two into the phone conversation. But if you have a better memory than me, this application should work well for you. There are 2 types of TapeACall. There's the Pro version for $9.99 and the Lite or free version. I'd recommend you go with the Pro version. It does give you more options. Now, a nice thing about this too is once you're done with your phone conversation and it records it, you can email yourself or email your upline the recording of the call. Now, method 3 is recording your phone call with your computer or tablet. I know it sounds a little weird, but the way to do this is if you got like a laptop with a video camera and a microphone on there, or an iPad or a tablet, you can pull up the video recording software on there and then turn your phone on speakerphone. That way the computer microphone can pick it up, and then just hold your phone near the microphone of your computer or tablet and then talk with your phone that way. Now, this doesn't produce the greatest quality audio recordings because your voice is going to be louder than the other voice on the other end of the line, but it gets the job done. Now, when I've had some older models of the iPhone, or when I used to use landlines, some speakerphones don't work very well, where it would cut in or out of the other person. So if you want to do this method, do a test run with your speakerphone first to make sure it's adequate quality, because you don't want to record your phone call and have your prospect be like, "What? I can't hear you. You sound far away." So this works if you're familiar with how to record video on your iPad or tablet or computer or laptop and you've got a decent speakerphone. And you simply record it, and then once you're done recording, you can play the video. So a plus side to this is that if you position the camera right, you can actually record your face and your facial expressions at the same time. Now, if you never recorded your phone calls before and the sound of your own voice, sends a tremor of fear up your spine, watching yourself on camera is going to probably be a lot worse. However, I would recommend you do that at some point, because watching your facial expression is a good way to see how you're coming across to someone. There is that, I don't know what it is exactly, I just call it a weird effect where if you have a scowl on your face or you're unhappy, it does come across in your voice and other people can pick it up. And the other thing is, if you're talking with people on the phone that way, your facial expressions will probably be similar to when you're talking with someone face to face or giving a presentation. So it's always a good idea to, watch yourself and make sure you have a smile on your face or you look friendly. I was in the military for a bit, and so I, was trained to you sit there at attention and you keep a straight face. So for years, and actually still sometimes, people think I'm angry or I'm annoyed or I'm in a real serious mode just because I don't show much facial expression. So I have to constantly remind myself to look friendlier and keep a smile on my face. It's not that because I'm not happy or I'm not friendly, it's just that's my character and that's my nature. And I found that a funny thing, and this was years ago when I started recording myself. I would sit there and look friendly or have a smile on my face, and then the person would ask a question or give an objection, is this a pyramid, or how much money are you making in your business? And my face would turn from being friendly into this huge frown. So I can only imagine what type of energy I was sending across to the person on the other end of the line, or what I was doing with someone if I was meeting with them face to face at a Starbucks or whatever. So that really got my act in gear in making sure that I didn't let questions, throw me for a loop, or at least show the person that I was nervous. It made me realize, what? Make sure I keep that smile on my face and make sure I stay friendly. And you know what? It actually did help me get better results. So I know I got off on a tangent there a bit, but just something for you to keep in mind. Or if you do end up using your computer or tablet, position it in a way where you can also record your face if possible and watch your facial expressions throughout. So those are 3 methods. All of them will work, and I still use all 3 today. A lot of it just depends on what I'm doing, or if I'm traveling, or if I'm on the road. I just kind of grab whatever's around me. So for now, pick one of those methods and start recording your phone calls with it. I'll also say, make sure you have a basis for your communication, sales, and closing techniques. If you don't have a solid training program that you've studied, make sure you go grab our communication course. You can go to MLMCompletePackage.com/recruit and grab that training course right there. It's a really good one. It goes into specific details about the process, how to handle objections, how to close people. And what you can do then is you can record your phone conversations, go back and listen to yourself, and then go back and study particular modules or parts of this communication course again to see how you should have answered something or to kind of diagnose what went wrong. Another good thing about this course is all of our courses come with a couple of 30-minute consultations with either myself or Jason Wells. So if you're really serious about increasing your business and recruiting more distributors, go get that course, and you can actually talk with myself or Jason Wells a few times as well. So that wraps up this training video, and I'll just leave you with this. Just go out there and record. You know the Nike symbol or the Nike slogan of just do it? Well, just record it. I want that to stick in your mind, because if you record yourself and go through the pain and suffering of listening to yourself, you will be so grateful and you will start getting much better results in your business.